Yeah, that's all they had to do in the movie.
Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm Dex.
I'm Mike.
And today we're going to review the new horror film, Don't Breathe.
Which is directed by Fede Alvarez, who directed 2013's Evil Dead remake. The movie stars Jane Levy, who is also a star of the remake of Evil Dead. Dylan Minnette, who recently starred in Goosebumps. Daniel Zavato, who's from Fear the Walking Dead and recently starred in It Follows. And Stephen Lang, who you may remember from Avatar.
Yeah, he was the blue guy, if you remember that. All right, so what is the movie about? Pretty simple premise. It's about three petty thieves who are looking to hit it big, so they try to rob a blind guy. You know? And I guess we all kind of know where maybe that's going to go, or maybe not.
Stand-up people.
Yes, they're very good people. I mean, you know, what do you want? I mean, they're in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I want to say, if you live in Detroit, my condolences.
I was born in Detroit.
Really? Well, you got out, so there you go, right? What's that tell you?
Well, this movie was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought the performances were really good. The leads did a stand-up job. I like the way Fede Alvarez used the house as like its own character. Mm-hmm. How, you know, the movie takes place in one location, so the house was used as just like, as a character itself.
Right.
It was very suspenseful. There were some times where, you know, it kind of just made you jump, you know, and it's an original story. We don't get too many original stories these days. Everything's either a remake or just a really bad horror movie, but this was done well and it's original. So what'd you like?
I like the fact that it did have some scheme, for at least personally for me, it did make me jump like twice. Mm-hmm. There were two scenes in the movie where I actually jumped like up and back. Yeah. And one of the scenes I even made like a sound where I was like, oh yeah, what is that? And then Mike stopped and kind of gave me the look like, what's wrong with you? But there were other people in the theater that were jumping too. But that's one of the things that you never ever see people doing in horror films. Like the people in the movie theater. Mm. But every time you're watching a movie and there's people in the theater watching a horror film, you always see them jumping. So that I did enjoy. I also enjoyed the main character, Stephen Lang. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought he played like a really good, you know, blind guy. I had to actually look him up. I didn't know he was actually blind. I mean, he wasn't blind, but he looked really good. And he was doing, I used to work with blind people, so he was doing a lot of the things that blind people actually, you know, end up doing. Like they touch the walls, they stop, they smell, they take 2 steps forward. You know what I mean? It's like all their other senses, to some extent, are heightened. So I thought he did a very good job.
Yes, he did. If I had any dislikes about the movie, it would just be like a nitpick. And I know it's a movie, it's fantasy, but as a black blind guy, he was just kind of superhuman, doing everything, even though he was blind. It was just like, my God, this guy can do everything. He's blind.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, he was like a super blind guy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't know how. I mean, you saw his body. I don't know how he works out. Mm-hmm. I mean, that must be like amazing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways, the only thing that I didn't like was the fact that throughout the whole movie, it's like suspenseful, and then there's certain parts in the movie where all of a sudden, like it just goes from being suspenseful to being comical. Mm. You know, and then it kind of goes back to being suspenseful, and then there's a little bit comical, and there were some really disturbing parts of the movie where my jaw just dropped and I thought, is this really necessary? They need to show this? But aside from that, I did enjoy the film. Not as much as Mike, but I did enjoy the film. So
what are you going to give it?
Okay, so I'm going to give it just a straight up B.
Okay. I think that's your first B, right?
First B so far. How about you?
I'm going to give it A minus. I enjoyed it a lot. My nitpick was, you know, my dislike was just a nitpick, but it's very good. Please go out and support it. It's an original horror film that's good, and we don't get that nowadays. The only other good horror films we've had this year is really Green Room and Conjuring 2. So this was very good, and I suggest you go out and support it.
All right, I really don't disagree. If you want a good scare, go out and see Don't Breathe.
All right.
All right, so it looks like that's all the time that we have for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Any comments are more than welcome. You can write anything that you want.
All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
All right, and we'll see you guys next time.